Hi, this is Leanne from Echidna Sewing Products. I just wanted to show you how easy Embrilliance embroidery software works and some of the great features and functions that can take your embroidery to a whole new level. Let's see how this really easy program can change the way you think about embroidery, and hopefully I can inspire you to get creative too. So let's open a design and get started. So the design I've chosen is from the John Deere Ultimate Stash collection, and it's called Floral Dream. So let's select the design and open it, and you'll see here this gorgeous flower. On my screen here you'll notice that we actually have the complete Embrilliance program I'm showing you, but I'm just going to show you the features and functions of Essentials to start with. Have a look at this design, not only in colour but the design itself. What are some of the amazing parts of this design that we can alter and create new designs from? So I see three separate parts to this design, and I can separate them with such ease and delete parts I don't want or copy and paste them later on another page. So over here in the Objects window, if I click on the plus, this shows me all of the different parts of this design in colour. So I can now delete or change the colours and play around with these as I see fit. So I'm going to click on the first part here, which is the scrolls, and you'll see now that it's highlighted. I'm actually going to delete that from this design, and I'm going to click on edit and I'm going to delete that. So now we've removed that from the design. It hasn't actually deleted it from the original, just from what we have on the screen. So now what I'm going to do is I'd like to keep this frame for later on. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to actually click on edit and I'm going to cut it, select a new page, and I'm going to paste it to a new page. So now we have two different workspaces open. I can actually click backwards and forwards and work on multiples of workspaces as I need to. I'm now going to go back to the original design and where we have just got our flower. So first of all, we can do things like change our colours. So if I want to change my colour, say here, to a pink, I could actually click on the colour swatch here and select a different colour. Now this may not be the colour palette that I'm working with, so I could actually go in and select the colour palette that I work with. I'm a Hemingworth girl, so I'm going to select my Hemingworth colour palette and I'm going to change this to a different colour. So let's scroll through, find a different colour, click on the colour that I need and click OK. You can now see that we have a different effect or a different look to the one design. I can now do all sorts of things here like resize. So if I click in the corner here, hold down my left mouse button, I can actually resize my design, and I can resize this down by half, or I can actually increase it up to 250%, but that will depend on your hoop size. So I can scroll in, scroll out and get the size that I need. I can also as well click on edit and I can copy that, and I can also paste that. So if I wanted more than one on the screen, I can actually go in and alter that as I need to and overlap them. So let's copy another one, or actually just paste another one even, and I can resize that down and up as I need to, but let's change it over here in the figures. So if I wanted that to be 50%, I just type in 50 and click enter on the keyboard, and that will now take it down to 50%, and I could place that on my page. Okay, so we now have 3 on our screen. Now the main thing with this design is that we have a lot of overlapping as well, and we need to get rid of the overlapping. So there's a great function in Embrilliance which is called the remove hidden stitches, and if I click on remove hidden stitches, and you'll notice down here in the bottom I have 53,980 stitches in my design. If I click on the remove hidden stitches, you'll now see that it is reduced down to 48,156 stitches, and if you click on this one here, you'll see that it is actually removed all of the stitches underneath that I don't need. That's a great function to remove all that bulk so that you don't get bulletproof designs. So here I have my design, which is in a 200mm by 200mm hoop. But what if I don't have a 200mm hoop? I have a multi-position hoop. So what I can do is actually select out of my preferences a multi-position hoop. I'm going to select the 100 by 172 brother hoop and apply that. And you'll see here now that we actually have a larger hoop with a section in the middle is where the splitting will occur. So first of all, we're going to resize our design because it's a little bit large for this particular hoop, and I'm going to center the design, and then I'm going to click on File and save as Stitch and Working File, and you'll see here that it comes up with a default of split design. I can then type in here my title, and I'm going to save. It will now process and put that split in the design, so this can take a few seconds to do. And if I was to reopen this design again, you'll actually see that this is how it would reopen. So you've got the two separate sections, so you'll stitch section 1 and then you will move your multi-position hoop and you will then stitch out section 2. Now with my design, I'd like to actually add some lettering to this design, but I think there's a little bit too many flowers in here for my next step, so I'm going to actually eliminate some of these flowers. So I can just actually click on one of them, and then I can go up to my edit, and I can actually cut that from the design. I can also click on the design and press the delete key on my keyboard, and that will also delete the design as well. So now I'm going to select my design and center it like I did previously, and I'm now going to add some lettering to my design. So up the top here we click on this letter A, which is create our letters. Now you'll notice here that it comes up with a default of ABC, and you'll see it here on the screen. And what I can do then is I can actually type in some letters that I'd like to use. So let's just type in Daisy and we'll set that. I can then move that anywhere within my hoop area, and I can also do things like enlarge and reduce. I can actually rotate it if I wish, and I can actually take each letter individually by clicking on the green box here, and I can actually use each one individually as my design. So if I wanted to, I could actually click on each letter and move them around and manipulate them in any way that I like. Essentials comes with 12 fonts that are available, but there are literally tens of thousands of BX fonts that are available for the Essentials program. So your lettering can be in multiples of lines. You can have it as a single line, and you can create that into all different sorts of shapes. You can have it vertical if you'd like, and you can also change it to a text on a circle. So we can have it on the bottom or the top, and you can kern that and adjust the radius as you need to as well. Let's resize that so that we can get it down and fit it into the hoop where we'd like it to be, and again we can go in and center the design. Essentials also has 10 applique frames available, so let's click on the merge library and you can see here the 10 frames that are available in Essentials. So let's select frame number 7 here, and you can see that we can actually reduce or enlarge that as we see fit and make it sit around our design here. Now you'll also see here that these are applique designs, so with Embrilliance you can actually create the cutting file for your cutting machine. So the Brother Scan and Cut, you can actually create the FCM file. So if we click on the applique position here and we click on applique in the threads chart, and we click on save, it will then create the FCM for that particular shape. Another great feature is to be able to baste your design. So if you have a fabric that you can't hoop and you need to just hoop your stabilizer and place the fabric into the hoop, we have the ability to place the basting stitch around that. So if we baste the design, we then have this basting stitch around the edge here. But you'll notice here in our objects window that our basting stitch is actually down further than we want it to be. We actually need that to be placed in the first position. So if you right mouse click onto that particular basting stitch, you can actually move it first in the objects window. So now that we've completed our design, I'm not quite sure what stabilizer or needle I'm going to use for this particular project. So in Embrilliance Essentials we have the Project Advisor. So if we click on the Project Advisor, we can now select the fabric that we're going to stitch it onto, and it will actually suggest to us what needle, what thread, what backing, and also some project notes for this particular design. And you can then set that project ready to go. Now also too, if you want to see how this is going to stitch out before you take it to the machine, it has a stitch simulator. So if we click on Stitch Simulator, you can now see all the colours in the design and you can play it through. So it's like watching a video of your design before it actually stitches out. You can fast forward in that and see, and you can go backwards and forwards. And previously we actually showed you how to create a cutting file for your cutting machine, and here you'll see this will be the cutting file for the machine, that particular one there. So with Embrilliance Essentials you can create a multi-position hoop design, create the cutting files for your Brother Scan and Cut, the Patented Project Advisor, 10 applique frames with more to add, resize your designs from 50 to 250%, change the colour to the brand that you require, colour sort and resequence, 12 fonts with the ability to add a lot more, align the designs with the perfect tool placement, unlimited lines of lettering, monogramming and embroidery designs, base your design in the hoop, merge the designs together to create new ones, simulate the sewing before you take it to the machine, open design formats and save to another, and center your design with the click of a button. For further information, please go to www.echidnasewing.com.au. Thank you.